For the first time since her son's disappearance, the mother of Harley Dilly is speaking on camera.
December 30th that we finally hear from Heather Dilly, the mother. She puts on Facebook, gets very emotional. I guess it's just time I get on TV and talk. People say I'm a horrible mom for not speaking and showing emotion as much. And that's all we can show you, the post, because it has since been deleted.
For one Port Clinton family, Christmas never came this year.
I can't believe the child's been missing for 6 days and nobody's seen him.
I mean, somebody had to have seen something.
The heartbroken mother waiting for her missing son to walk back into her arms.
Mom and Dad are cooperating fully. They have been since they reported it. Their agents are currently talking to Mom and Dad right now. We've searched the house. We've got no hits at the house with the cadaver dogs at this time. So we're branching out with the live find dogs and with the cadaver dogs.
There's no words for any of this. I would never want anybody to go through this.
In the past, when they have a conflict in the residence, Harley will go away for the night. The first night was not uncommon for Harley to not be there.
I have to get up every day and look in that room and he's not there.
He had broke his phone about a week ago, so they weren't concerned that he did not call because he didn't have a phone. They became concerned Saturday night after they returned home and he still was not home.
Inside her home on East 5th Street in Port Clinton, Heather Dilly has spent the last 14 days hoping her son Harley will come home to her.
On the video, he left of his own free will between the hours of 6 and 7.
But no reason why you guys can determine just yet?
Not at this point. And talking to the friends, no one has heard from Harley other than Mom that morning when he was going to school because he wasn't feeling well. And she said, no, you'll go to school, this is your last day.
Heather, when was the last time you saw him? Was it that morning, Friday morning?
I didn't see him, I talked to him. There's a difference.
That would even lead to that. We're not ruling it out, but there's nothing that's pointing in that direction either.
Just waiting for him to come home.
For now, she's pleading for her son's safe return.
I love you, Harley. Please come home. Please, we need you. I don't believe that you ran, but if you did, just please, this isn't you.
Is there something about the area you're searching now that drew you there?
It's Harley's residence is there.
Port Clinton police say 14-year-old Harley was last seen Friday, December 20th, between 6 and 7 a.m.
We've had a couple calls there. Harley was upset over an incident that happened at home. We were involved, and other than that, that's about it.
Was that fairly recently?
Approximately a month ago.
But that's all she can say. She's worried sharing more information could jeopardize an open investigation.
What can the public do to help you all bring him home?
We've got pictures out there. Harley will not warm up to anybody that will approach him. All I can ask that if the public sees Harley, call whatever agency, call 911 and get law enforcement or somebody involved, because he will not warm up to you. He's got to warm up to you before he'll even look at you. So
is Harley, does he have the same, I mean, he's 14 years old, you're saying that you don't think this is an abduction at this point. From your previous dealings with him, how do you know his temperament with other people, like you were saying?
Through our school resource officers, the school administration, Mom, Dad, and his friends.
Has he run away in the past?
All I can tell you is his typical behavior. If something is not right at home, he will not come home that night and come home the next day.
Do you know where, do the parents know where he
was when he would stay
The
away?
parents, he has a couple friends in towns that he goes to visit. We've talked to both parents and his friends, and the only person outside of the video coverage is we have a resident, one of his friends, his father talked to him at 7 o'clock Thursday night, and he was told to go home, and the video coverage shows him going home about 7:24.
She's asking her community to help look for her son and begging them to understand her pain.
People are contacting me saying my son's dead. How do you think that makes me? Just pray for him and to share, and please keep your eyes open. Somebody knows something. I mean, geez, how can a kid just disappear?
In talking to the parents, do they have a message that they would like to share via you, that you can share with us?
Basically, Harley, you're not in trouble. You need to come home so we can get this past us, and we'll deal with it when you come home. Bud, you're not in trouble. Just come home. If you're near a phone, you're near a residence, knock on the door, tell them to call the authorities, and we'll get you back with Mom and Dad. And Grandpa and Grandma are up from Florida, and they want you there too. So just reach out, Harley. That's all we can say.
𝓤𝓲𝓷𝓼𝓲𝓽𝓵 reports.
We are still waiting to have Christmas with you. We want you to come home. We want you safe. Your family misses you.
Sobbing words from Harley Dilly's mother clamoring for her son to come home.
We love you so much, and just please come home.
Heather Dilly spoke out.
The family in the past.
You said this has happened before. Harley would not come home and things were bad at home. Can you say any more on that or any of those previous incidences?
We're learning that from the parents. We did not have any calls of that. This is an ongoing investigation. Like I said, they're cooperating right now. We're trying to narrow down how often this happens, what leads up to this happening. So,
was there any disagreement with the parents other than I'm not feeling well, yes, you're going to school?
that's it.
And what time was that Friday morning?
Between the hours of 6 and 7.
Did the issue what you guys showed at his house a month ago, was that something involving him and his parents, or was it his parents and his parents?
He got a piece of electronics equipment taken away from him, and that was taken away from him, and he didn't think it should be.
So he was the person that called police in that instance?
No.
Was there anything physical there?
The parents called, and we just had to calm Harley down.
This has been bigger than we had ever imagined.
Yes.
I entirely think if you get past the Facebook that thinks we're not doing our job.
Missing boy saying that he isn't in any trouble.
You call the Port Clinton Police Department, 419-734-3121. You ask for me, and I will come and get you.
That will find her son alive.
I just don't know what else to say. We just love you, and you need to come home.
The house was entered at 16:10 hours and searched. Harley's coat, glasses were discovered on the second floor of the house next to a brick chimney. We were then able to discover what we believe to be Harley, who was caught in the chimney. His family was notified early this morning, and this appears to be an accident.
That since this investigation started on December 20th, investigators have really stressed that the parents of Harley Dilly have been cooperating with this investigation.
House.
What would your state of mind be if you lost your 14-year-old?
I want to play a story that we filed this weekend. Stephen Hernandez, one of our reporters, was in Port Clinton. They had a massive volunteer search on Saturday, and it was really the first time that we saw Heather Dilly, the mother of Harley, came out and publicly spoke. Really the only thing we had seen previously from Heather was back on December 29th. she went on Facebook and had a fairly lengthy post, which has since been removed. And it was, I'm going to be blunt, it was a very angry post. There was language, explicit language in it, talking about how she apparently had been receiving a lot of flack from community members, that she hadn't been in front of the media, and that she was a bad mother for not, these were her words in her post. And the post got removed. So very interesting in that. But I want to play the story from this weekend with the search, and really the first time that we heard from Heather Dilly. Take a look.
We are still waiting to have Christmas with you. We want you to come home. We want you safe. Your family misses you.
Sobbing words from Harley Dilly's mother clamoring for her son to come home.
We love you so much, and just please come home.
Heather Dilly spoke out dramatically as the community set out yet again to find her missing 14-year-old son.
This has been bigger than we had ever imagined, the support and love for our son. I just don't know what else to say. We just love you, and you need to come home.
Talk about this photo right here, taken by the 𝓿𝓲𝓷𝓼𝓲𝓽𝓵. How does a coat get hung up? Well, obviously investigators picked this coat up and hung it on, it looks like a door. Nobody is saying that Harley was in there and hung up his jacket. That you can see the woman in that picture. She is part of BCI, the Bureau of Criminal Investigations, and she is responsible for not only collecting but taking photographs of all the articles. So if the chief is saying no foul play, that's what this case is. I'm going to literally turn the camera right now to Jen Pachano. Jen, you're following along on social media. Give us some of the reactions.
Yeah, Dan, like you said, a lot of people are getting hung up on that image that we were looking at last night of the coat being hung up. A lot of people questioning, unfortunately, still whether or not this is an accident, but according to the Port Clinton police, this is, in fact, an accident. Let's see, we have from Tracy Ruth, said every single person that condemned and accused his parents while plastering it all over social media better beg the Dillys for forgiveness and look inside your heart while you're at it. My heart breaks for that family. What else do we have? A lot of people, unfortunately, still questioning what exactly happened. They are still investigating, as you had mentioned, no cause of death here, but the police are saying this is an accident. Cindy Farmer saying, so very sad, sympathy for his family and friends. Joe Lynn saying, heartbreaking. Michelle, a horrible accident. Hope all of those blaming the parents are ashamed.
And we did hear a lot of that, and to the point that the police chief kept having to address this. They were having daily news conferences in the beginning, and he kept going back to that they did not suspect the family and that he was appalled by what was going on social media and the immense amount of speculation.
Sure. If you want me to go on here,
sure.
Loretta said, so sad. Hopefully now everyone will stop bashing his parents and pray for them instead. Prayer too for the family. Truth always comes out.
Unfortunately, Harley Dilly's body was found lodged in a chimney in a home across the street from his parents' home, from where he lived. And the police are calling this an accident, and they say there is absolutely no indication of foul play.
But the negativity from people condemning this family is just terrible. That's what the worst thing is. Chief stated they're never been suspects, but so many people condemned them from the start. And I'm proud to say I stood by him the whole time and will stand by him. I don't know what to say.
I can't imagine what the Dillys are going through. And Mark and I have stood by them and will continue to stand by them.
People need to apologize for what they said and their actions. Just own up to what you said and apologize to this family. They didn't deserve any of this from day one. And, listen, don't listen, it don't matter, but you know who you are. I don't know if this was a tip that led to this and the reward fund will be used if there's any way that the reward fund can be used to help the Dilly family with the funeral, that's what we at 𝓬𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓭𝓵 stress. If, like I say, but a lot of people have been concerned about the money. That's not the point right now, but if it can be returned, it would be used for the Dillys to try to give Harley a proper burial.
I feel very bad for his parents, just very sad for them.
Harley was upset about his broken phone and had a disagreement with his parents about getting a new one. A police report states Harley's father told them Harley has autism and ADHD.
None of that information was corroborated through any sort of a medical source or anything like that.
Police say they were told by Harley's father this was not the first time he did not return home from school on a Friday, but they never filed police reports about it before.
As far as the theories of there being a murder, there's no evidence that leads us to be a murder. Even on the coroner's report, it says compressed asphyxia. There's a parenthesis in there with minutes next to that. There's no indication that there was any sort of homicide. I mean, this is all pending toxicology results, though. The family has been under a lot of scrutiny. A lot of times that's just something that people are going to do because they don't have any answers. They're going to look for something close. I think that the family has handled that scrutiny rather well. I don't believe that all the scrutiny that they've received is warranted by any means, but I believe that the family's held it well and handled it well, and I think that they can move forward now.